Well, I think all we can do at this stage is make it very clear to our allies, and France and the US have been very clear on this, that we are involved and we are a key player in this, and we want to be at the table when these discussions are taking place around what we're going to do in terms of a use of force. Now, look, nobody is arguing for Iraq Mark II. Nobody is saying that, you know, we fire up the tanks or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with that. Warfare has completely changed. But I also don't accept that we just watch this behaviour continue unabated without getting involved in any way whatsoever.
So what then?
Well, there's a number of different options available. There's clearly some targeting that can be done of those individuals involved in the decision-making process around chemical weapons, the stockpiles of these things, the airfields from where they came from. But it's not all about violence. You know, we have offensive cyber capabilities now, and we don't like to talk about it or think about it in a way. But you know, we need to kind of get with the program as to how warfare is changing. I can completely understand my colleagues' views who went through the process in Iraq and are very, very nervous indeed about advocating foreign policy interventions. I absolutely get that, but I also don't think that we just retreat to a little Britain where we don't get involved. I think the balance is somewhere in the middle, and I think at the very least we need to start having that conversation.
You will know that a year ago the US fired 59 missiles against Syria bases and equipment. That has not stopped President Assad from using chemical weapons again against his own people.
It hasn't, and I think we're going to see a more deliberate approach from the US as to how they're going to do this. I just think that if we're looking for clean outcomes, like Assad suddenly doesn't have chemical weapons, or suddenly the war is over after our involvement, we're never going to have a grown-up conversation about what modern warfare is about. We have to have some sort of effect on this process, if that's what we believe. If we believe actually as a country we are content to watch this behaviour go on unabated, then that's a different matter. But I don't feel that we are. I think clearly it is very, very difficult. The options are close to zero, but I don't think they are zero. And I think we should be taking part in that debate with the Americans and the French as to how we intervene in some sort of way to protect, at the end of the day, our fellow human race who are being so exploited and murdered by this individual. Julian's view is absolutely valid. I don't think we're speaking at cross purposes here at all. He has been through this process, through the Iraq vote, through the Libya vote, and the government has to do so much more to to get over what modern warfare is about and what we're trying to achieve. What is the end state? If we try and sell people this binary conflict where you get winners and losers and everything's sorted out in a political settlement, then nobody is going to be happy, because it doesn't work like that. But at the same time, we have to say, look, if you are prepared to use chemical weapons in this manner, we are not prepared to tolerate that. We have a duty to protect, and we will get involved in some sort of limited action. That's only the conversation that I want to see. I'm pretty sure, I know Julian very well. I didn't realise he was on this morning. But I'm sure he feels the same way. And I agree with him. We don't want to end up in some mess that has gone before.
And one final thought from you, Mr. Mercer. Are you saying that there should be a vote in Parliament for some kind of limited airstrike as a shot across the bows? Or are you saying to the Prime Minister, you can make these decisions, get on with it? Briefly.
Well, my view is very clear on this. I think trying to get national security decisions through Parliament is not going to keep up with the series of events that we are faced with in world affairs. But at the same time, I completely understand why we have that, because we've been through the Iraq process in 2003, and I was listening to Robin Cook's speech on that last night on Radio 4, and look, the mistakes are chronic, and so I understand why we're in this position, why it goes through Parliament. I personally don't think it's fit for purpose for us to conduct national security in that way.